What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today is August the 1st. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is doing today. Before we get into any of that, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. So starting off with data points, we have non-farm payroll and also unemployment, both coming out at 7:30. Then ISM manufacturing coming out at 9. So in the past, all these data points have really shown that they can really move the market. Currently though, the futures are somewhat in the red. So you have Dow down 0.74, S&P 0.78, and NASDAQ down 0.85. So the market is really going to be looking at these data points as more of a saving grace, because today the market is pulling back because of a couple different things. One is Trump, the new tariffs. So a lot of people seem to be blindsided by this, even though the deadline was made like a long time ago, so it shouldn't be that big of a surprise. And then aside from that, the market is also digesting Amazon earnings, which was relatively good for face value on a lot of the key metrics, but they did give a lot of concerns about the future, especially tariff related. So you kind of have a lot of big companies all saying the exact same thing. Apple, we did also have Amazon, and most recently what's really sparked a lot of this fear is UPS. So I think the hot topic for today is going to be tariffs. And I think clearly the market did believe that in one way or another that this was going to be a scare tactic and that all these tariffs were not going to be in place. So we'll have to kind of wait and see. One thing also did come out, I don't know if it's really influencing the market all that much, but Trump kind of was called out by Putin. So looks like Putin is advancing on all of the front line against Ukraine. And not only that, but he did call out Trump saying, hey, this is now going to be a concern for the states. So I don't know how that's really going to be interpreted by Trump or anything, but let me know your general thoughts on that. SoFi is going down 3.59% this morning. Again, no news, no SEC filings, just merely piggybacking off the broader market. 10.41% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 121.35 million shares overall are being shorted. So when it comes down to Friday, as per usual, I'll give you an overview of this because this has really shown in the past some level of manipulation. So with it at 21 and change, we do have 8,000 at that 21.50 for open interest options. Also have 14,000 at that 21, and then 13,000 at that 22. So that's kind of the close strike prices. So if SoFi does close or is close to one of those strike prices by close of business, and then you might see shorts try to manipulate it below that. So again, something to keep in mind. But aside from that though, with it at 21.77, it is trading between this R3 and this R2. So 20.34 is going to be a strong support. I'm looking at the one-day chart on the side note, and then 22.57. So let me know your thoughts on that. Moving on, Amazon. So like I said, Amazon for face value did hit a home run earnings. Just the future guidance was somewhat questionable, but it is down 7.99%. Currently not heavily shorted, so that's not going to be a point. So 0.65% of the free float is being shorted, so that's not a big deal. With it right now though at 214, on a technical standpoint, it is breaking below this pivot point of 215. So that's kind of a big deal. So best case scenario, just watch for it to get above that 215 if you're going to see any sort of recovery, because if not, you'll have 207 followed by 202 to be the following support levels. Flip side, 223 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, and I'm pretty sure that's off the table in my opinion, unless something crazy dramatic does happen on a positive kind of side, but I don't see that R1 being touched. Moving on, NIO. So NIO is an interesting beast. It's kind of a very volatile stock. It is down 2.05% because of their monthly numbers. So they put out that early this morning, and ultimately 21,017 was delivered in July 2015. That's pretty low, down I think about 15% from month over month. So yeah, that's not necessarily moving in the right direction. Regarding shorts though, during the pre-market, they are returning 1.6 million shares. So kind of a unique circumstance. I think also they might be reacting based on the very positive news from the L90, which was actually bringing NIO slightly above $5 during the overnight. But 11.6% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 179.4 million shares overall are being shorted. So they will play a very big part in NIO today as per usual. But right now with it at 476, it is trading between this pivot and this S1. So it really did break down fairly fast. So 486 is going to be that key point to really watch for in the short term for it to get above if you're going to see any sort of recovery. So watch for 486. Flip side, 458 is going to be a strong support, which won't be really touched in my opinion today. But moving on, ticker's FDMT. It is up 30%, largely because of this news that they did put out early this morning. And as I've kind of explained in the past, biotechs aren't really my forte, but nonetheless, this is kind of what is causing it to go higher. But aside from that, 10.22% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 3.62 million shares. So shorts might be some influence today. Try to suppress it at key levels, take advantage of the broader fear in the broader market. So just kind of watch for that. Aside from that though, with a 588, it is above on the fib levels, above this R3. So 567 is going to be a strong support, so just watch for that. Flip side, moving over to the classic, 722 is going to be the next strong kind of target / resistance. So let me know your general thoughts on that in the comments below. And then last but not least, we have ticker ATNF. So this one's an interesting one. I think it's just the broader fear that's really bringing it down, because there has been no news, no speculative topics, no SEC filings associated to this stock right here. Still though, over the last 5 days, and it's up 11.6% and up roughly 269% over the last 1 month. So this pullback that did happen yesterday and so far during the pre-market, it's, I think, overall relatively healthy. Some people might disagree with me on that, but when it comes down to shorts, 13.96% of the free floats being shorted works out to be 501,000 shares overall are being shorted. But aside from that, a couple of key points to really watch for on a technical standpoint. With it at 295, it is trading between this R1 and the pivot, so 272 is going to be a strong support. So just watch for that to hold. Potentially could be touched depending on how fast the fear does spread once the market does open. Then flip side, 336. Pretty sure that's off the table for today in my opinion, even if the data does come in a little bit better than anticipated. So as far as dollar cost averaging, just kind of watch for a lot of the support levels. So 272, 208, 168. So let me know your thoughts on these stocks. Do you think this is a good way to start August? How's your day going? Hopefully everyone's thinking about the weekend and all the other fun jazz. But one final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto, many of which have been absolutely on point and bangers. Definitely worthwhile to pop over there and take a look. With all that said, appreciate all of you watching.